Yes, the recording starts now.
Welcome back, everyone, to VCT
Recording
Pacific
in
Stage 1.
progress.
This is the second scrum of today's game. We have Coach Spin and Polvi from Global Esports on set. Let's begin by hearing from both on your thoughts on the game.
I mean, to be honest, I'm in a really bad mood about that game. We started off literally super well on the defense side on the Ascent. Win the pistol, great. 3 of the next 4 rounds we should win. Put ourselves in a good position to like go out that half leading, or at least like, still in the fight, and we just lose so much momentum from blunders, mistakes that we don't usually make, you know what I mean? It's so hard to watch because I know how good this group of players can be. Like I see every day in scrims and whatnot. And at the moment, we're just not able to make that happen on the stage the same way that I know we can. And don't get me wrong, like we're playing against really good teams. Everyone in this league is really good. And obviously DRX are some of the best. But when we're getting the advantages and the positions that we want, and then we're just not able to capitalize, it is hella frustrating. You can't even imagine, but we keep working.
I mean, it's hard to say after straight after the game. Like I haven't seen like back of let's say from like a stream's view, but like in most of the time on the rounds we were having the advantage personally, at least what I was feeling. But like then we then we just crumble. like I mean, I'm super like not happy obviously, but I'm super like pissed as well. Like how has this like happened? Because in practice we're like super good as well. Like Spin said, like we barely do these kinds of mistakes, but it just shows on stage sadly.
All right, we will now go on to pre-submitted questions. This question comes from Chris of Spin Esports. And question for Polvi. Coming from Europe, what aspect about APAC Valorant surprised you the most? Which region is harder to play in?
I mean, the obvious one is like I think everyone is like super aggressive on this region compared to like EU, where we like play heavy defaulty. Compared to like in APAC, I think everyone is like playing straightforward. Like if you watch PaperX, that's like the easiest comparison compared to like EU. But I can see it like in ranked as well. Like like everyone is like super crispy compared to EU. But I think Turkish people have the same like aim. Like they're very crisp, but in here it's much different. So.
This question goes for Spin. The first half of Lotus looked rough. Could you walk us through what happened?
Yes, I mean we'd obviously got to review one of their lowest games. And we played them in scrims previously. It's legitimately just blunder after blunder after blunder. Like you can't even imagine. Like the pistol round, literally right before the pistol round starts, lightning fast. He says, "Remember, we played a scrim against these guys. They have a pistol round where they throw a season and nade on C long, and then we just all walk into the season and nade on C long. Like that's the level of mistake that we're making that we absolutely should not make. Like we have the read, we know what's going to happen, or we don't know, but we suspect, and then we just make the mistake, the obvious mistake. We have at the moment a composure issue on stage. It's as simple as that. Like we're not that experienced as a group. We haven't had the time to develop on stage. And that's what we need. And unfortunately, it really does not favor us in this format of the year to have so few games and so spread across like such a long time across the year. We do not get the stage experience. You look at a team like Gen G, like how many games they've just played on stage. They play more games than we'll play in the entire year. It favors the teams that are winning, and it makes it very, very hard to get the kind of to catch up. It makes it very hard to catch these teams that are ahead of you. You know, the PRXs, DRXs, even the Gen G now of the world, like these teams have played together on stage so many times, so many times that they've had these issues and they've gone through them and they've been able to overcome them. I mean, Genji hasn't, with the exclusion of them. Obviously, they've just won and won and won. But it's 100% a composure issue, and yeah, that's all it is. Really, it's frustrating to see, but it's something that we have to overcome. We will.
All right. This question goes for Polvi. You're up next against Talon on Monday. Any players you're excited to play against?
I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to play like against Governor because I've been seeing like I'm playing against him on ranked as well. Like he's very crisp. But to be honest, I'm super forward to looking against like playing against like all of them in like 1v1 fights and whatever.
That's all the questions we have for this Scrum interview. Now we'll open up the floor for live questions from the attending media. If you have questions, please use the raise hand function and our staff will call on you. When you ask your questions, please state your name and publication.
Yes, we have a question from Anna. Anna, anytime you're ready, please unmute yourself.
Hey guys, this is Arnab. My question is open to my first question is for Polvi. We saw using you operator mode on defense on attacking half, which is not as common in this game as a duelist to have whether in any map. Is it something that you are more comfortable taking duels with the operator compared to rifles? Or is it something strategically team wants you to go with the operator and make out value of it?
I mean, I come from CS, so playing attack there, it was like slowly opening or being like an aggressive op like in there. But when we were playing scrims and stuff, we started playing like more slowly because more teams started to push us. So I picked up the op and we started playing more like rounds. I mean, winning more rounds there. So we started to pick it up a little bit more. Like I don't mind playing the op, don't mind playing the rifle. Like I'm good with the both. So I think the main difference is like being static and just holding, and I think that's like easy for me.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
It's a good question. It's a very difficult thing to kind of teach or learn. You know what I mean? I think what it tends to be, what my feeling is in general, is that I've said this to the team as well. And I don't mind saying it in a public forum, but I think when a team is new and you haven't really got the proof that you're good, you know what I mean? You haven't beaten good teams. So you start off and you struggle a little bit. You know, look at Genji in Convergence in India. Like they didn't look like the kind of amazing team that they are now. Even at the beginning, they lose to PaperX, and then they didn't look absolutely unbelievable after that. But really, I think the tipping point was for them was when they beat DRX. So they beat DRX, and then they have like evidence that they can really beat anybody. And then they go to Masters and they win and they win and they win, and they have this belief, and it is backed by evidence that they can beat anybody in the world. I think when you have that level of confidence backed by the evidence, it's so easy to go on stage and just be like, we are going to win. We're going to win this game. And we don't have that. So we have to kind of convince ourselves that that's the case. And I think the way that we have to do that is to tap into an experience that we have of that experience, you know. So everyone in the team has had a time in their career where they have felt that way. For example, you've got Benkai and PaperX. In the Malaysia-Singapore region, there were times where they would just win every single game, you know, and he would go into those matches knowing that he was going to win. Polvi and I and Mad Lions, we had the same thing. You know, we went 17-1 in regular season in the French league. We just knew after that second game, we just like win after win after win after win after win. When you're on a 12-game win streak, you just know you're going to win. And everybody in the team has had an experience of that. So everybody knows what it feels like. We just haven't felt it in this team. So we just kind of have to remember what that feels like, embody that kind of mental state, and then play from that mental state. And it sounds very easy for me to say it like this. It's not an easy thing for a player to do. But it's something we have to practice and something that we have to enact realistically. And don't get me wrong, like DRX are a good team. They're hard to beat at the best of times, even when you're playing well. So we're not going to act like this is a huge catastrophe. I'm obviously emotional now because we just lost. But we're going into games against teams who are nowhere near as strong as DRX. Let me put that clearly. So these kind of mistakes that we'll continue to make, I'm sure. Every team will. But they become easier, you know, that we don't get punished quite so much. We get away with a little bit more. We get into the game. When we start winning, then it becomes easy to start believing you can win. Sorry for the long answer, but there you go. We'll definitely be working on Sunset. Our map pool is not as tidy as we would like. I think how do I put this? Yeah, I think there's probably a couple of maps that we want to tidy up a little bit more. Sunset we'll revisit. We'll have to come up with some new stuff for that for sure. Because that's just been basically was a huge struggle against that division. I think we have good stuff on the other maps. You know, I think we're in a position where we really do understand what we're doing, and we understand the reads that we have and how we can play. It's just getting to a point where we can actually play those. So I think establishing a little bit more like rules and protocols that we can follow, so things that we can easily fall back on, that allow us to not have to make so many decisions in the game, if that makes sense, and run the risk of making bad ones. So I think that will probably be the focus of the next week.
Thank you and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the questions we have for this Scrum interview. Thank you. We'll be back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.